S-Word, featuring Will Gavin and Master Tesfasian. And a squad of big-name contributors. The S-Word from talkSPORT.
Hello and welcome to the S-Word, brought to you by talkSPORT and on the S-Word YouTube channel, on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. I'm Ollie Klink, alongside a man who I think will be insufferable today, Master Tesfasian. And why not? Because it is 2 wins from 2 for the US men's national team. Who can stop them? They are on fire. Are they even going to bring this thing home? Are they?
U.S. on fire, your defense is terrified. U.S. on fire, your defense is terrified. U.S. on fire, your defense is terrified. U.S. on fire.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you? There's going to be a lot of this today. What a packed show we have on the way for you. Of course, the US men's national team have taken total control of Group D. They are through to the knockout stages after a flawless win last night to break down every single tactical angle of that professional 2-0 win over the Aussies. We'll be joined by the host of the Football Exchange podcast, Alex Goldberg. Looking forward to that. It was heartbreak, though, for the Tartan Army in Boston. They've taken over Boston, the fans, but the team couldn't get it done on the pitch. The former Scotland international and Champions League winner Paul Lambert is going to join us to dissect Scotland's devastating 1-0 loss to Morocco and what they now need to do against Brazil. They might still sneak through regardless of that result, but there will be hearts in mouths for the Tartan Army. Fox Sports commentator Nate Bukaty is going to stop by to look at the big picture for Team USA. Now they've punched their ticket into the knockout stages, how does Mauricio Pochettino handle the bracket? And finally, we'll get the ultimate player's perspective from the former USMNT midfielder and World Cup veteran Kellyn Acosta, diving into the tournament engine room and the looming squad rotation dilemmas. The squad's just too good. That's the problem. All of that and so much more. You're watching the S-Word, sponsored by Kalshi. Right, you've already heard from him. But Ollie, Master, how you doing?
My boy, how are you doing? How does it feel to see the U.S. just absolutely dominating the sport your people created? Isn't it beautiful?
Honestly, really enjoying it. I always think if the hosts are doing well at a World Cup, it's a better tournament, and we've seen that from all of the co-hosts as well, haven't we? Mexico already through, Canada with a thumping win the other day, but the US looking really impressive, mate. I'm not going to lie. I mean, let's be fair. You've played Paraguay and Australia, right? That's the only thing I'm going to say.
Give me a break. Give me a break.
It's the only thing I'm going to
say. That's how we're starting this off. That's how we're going to start this off. Talking about Paraguay and Australia? Come on, man. Come on.
Well, let's be fair.
Give us our praise. Give us our credit. You guys knocked us for our stadiums. Atmospheres have been amazing. Packed out. 66,000, I believe it was, in Seattle. We showed up and showed out. We're creating the environment everyone said we wouldn't. We're playing beautiful football people said we wouldn't play. We're dominating our opponents. We're taking care of exactly what we're supposed to do. We won our group already in the first 2 matches, and now we move on to the knockouts. Yeah. What is there to knock? What is there to knock?
Oh, you know what I'm like, though, mate. You know I'm here to wind you up. That's the whole point. But it was a sleepless night in Seattle for you and a lot of those US fans after the US took care of business against Australia.
Now down the left-hand side comes Pepe into the area. Can he play it across the face of goal? It's turned in for an own goal. Australia go behind, and it's Cameron Burgess who's just tucked it into his own net. Mauricio Pochettino's red, white, blue hit the front in Seattle. And works it back to the edge of the area. Driven goalwards by Dest. Deflects in the air and headed in for 2. Alex Freeman with his 3rd American goal. Now he's scoring at a World Cup. He makes it USA 2, Australia 0. Full-time whistle goes, and the USA as co-hosts are through to the knockout stages.
Yeah, what a fantastic win. Master, come on then, talk me through it. How was your night? What did you get up to? I want to hear everything about your build-up to the game, what it was like in the stadium. Talk me through it, my friend.
Man, where do I start? I got in Seattle late the night before the match. Could barely sleep. Got up at about, well, obviously we did the show, and then once we did the show, we went off to Seattle off First Ave. I don't know if you've been to Seattle before. Amazing city, especially in the summertime. It is absolutely gorgeous. 75 degrees, whatever that is in Celsius. Beautiful breeze coming in. There is, weather-wise, there is very few places that you're going to find in this beautiful country that has more amazing weather in the summer than Seattle does. And it showed up and showed out yesterday. The weather was absolutely incredible, and the fans were out. As soon as I pulled up at 8 a.m. on First Ave, I'm telling you, tens of thousands of fans were already in the streets. And I'm seeing Jameis Winston, of all people, obviously he's doing a lot of work with Fox Sports as the fan correspondent. He was rallying up the fans, gathering them together, chanting USA, and really rallying them up with the American Outlaws. I'm bumping into people from all parts of the country with their own different scarves representing their own cities. And again, Ollie, this is a noon kickoff, Pacific time. People were outside at 8 a.m. as if this was like a college football match. And it truly reminded me how different and how special Seattle is. Ollie, that atmosphere, obviously I've been to both matches now. Seattle should be hosting every single U.S. men's national team game moving forward, and even U.S. women's national team. They've got an amazing system set up. The fans showed up. The walk to the stadium, it's about a mile. It's absolutely wonderful when the weather is cooperating. And, of course, the stadium. The stadium is gorgeous, and a huge advantage for the Seahawks every fall. Home of the 12s that they describe as the 12th man. And I hope you felt it, Ollie. I hope you felt it. Because I'm telling you right now, man, that atmosphere, as great as SoFi was, and I've told you how much I love SoFi, that atmosphere in Seattle is up there with some of the best atmospheres I've ever been to at any match, any sporting event, period.
And I feel like, though, it was because they were gripped by that first result too. There was so much confidence. You can see that the actual team are brimming with confidence. Look, yeah, well done. You've beaten Paraguay and Australia. Yeah, really impressive. Really impressive.
I didn't know how sarcastic. I didn't know how sarcastic it was.
Yeah, I mean, let's wait till the knockouts, mate. Which you are through.
Now let's wait till the knockouts. That's what it always is. You know what? I don't care. I really don't care. I think the best part about that match yesterday was we were unapologetically American. All the fans were unapologetically American. We did not care who, what, when, where, why, how. We came up, we showed out. We were singing Take Me Home Country Roads. We were bantering with the Aussies. They were bantering back with us. We'd called soccer. We don't apologize for nothing. And truly really embraced and leaned into our Americanism. And that's honestly that's how it should be, Ollie. Like the American fan, to me, as much as everyone wants to talk and make fun of them about it, the worst ones to me are the ones that suck up to the Europeans. And when it continued to show like, oh, we know the game. Here's, I've been to this match, this, and this, and here's how I say offside, and I call it defense, and all these other different little mannerisms that you kind of need to kind of show some sort of credibility to European people. No, it's not aimed at you. I mean, you're a microcosm of it all. So, it could, if you want to take it personal, then take it personal. But like that wasn't the case yesterday. Yesterday was, hey, we're good. We don't have to prove anything to anyone. The performance against Paraguay proved it themselves, and these players, we're here to support them as well, to give us another one of those performances, and they came out the gate again swinging, and that's all that mattered to us. Once you come out the gate swinging, we are going to show up, we're going to show out, we're going to support, we're going to give everything we have, we're going to be chanting, yelling, and screaming. It may not be what you're accustomed to seeing in South America, it may not be accustomed to what you're seeing in Europe, it may not be accustomed to what you're seeing in Africa, but that's how we do it here, and we know how to make a raucous atmosphere and environment in a sporting event, and we did that yesterday once again, and we're going to do it again against Turkey, and you're going to see it throughout the knockouts, because each match from here on moving forward, it's going to be in the Bay Area. Round of 16 is going to be in Seattle.
Oh, you're already there, are you?
In quarterfinals is going to be in LA.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to. I mean, England hasn't secured anything yet, so it's okay. But
yeah, that's because we've only played one game.
we can talk that talk because we are in the knockouts.
Yeah, okay. You're already talking about the round of 16 though. I mean, that's maybe getting heavy.
Yeah, that's the expectation. Why not? I want to talk quarterfinals. I want to talk semifinals. Semifinals gonna be in Dallas.
Wow.
The finals gonna be in New York.
Wow,
how far can we take this?
Semifinals.
How far can we? How far can we take this, Ollie? How far can we take this? We are pushing the limits. The play that we're the level of performances that we're giving right now. Why not? Why not dream big?
Did you drop off a bit in the second half of both games, if you're being honest?
I mean, yeah, sure. I think that's fair to say. I do. And I also think the atmosphere, the intensity from the fans and the crowd as well, coming out of second half in both instances, wasn't up to the level that maybe it should be. But I mean, we never really left second gear, I'd say, in the second half. So once you that's been the fun part about these performances. Once you come out the gate swinging, like you give it, you punch hard first. Like it's
we can all have a good group
the
stage,
game.
though,
You're dictating the game on your terms.
Have a good group stage. It doesn't, once you get past that though, which you have, well done, brilliant. That's when the proper tournament starts. Are you genuinely confident that this US men's national team can take on some of the biggest and best? In fact, would you say they've been the most impressive team so far at the World Cup?
Yes, without question. I think in terms of a 4-1 performance against Paraguay, and you saw what Paraguay did yesterday against a European team, which everyone said was going to win the group, right? Everyone talked about how Turkey was going to be the best team in this group, and that'd be the biggest one to fear for America. And they couldn't beat Australia, and they couldn't beat Paraguay, this UEFA side that got 16 nations in this tournament that was supposed to dominate every single group. All of a sudden, we're going to this third match day, and it doesn't even matter because Turkey couldn't score a goal. So, yeah, I went against Paraguay. We took it to them, and you saw how difficult it was for Paraguay to break them down, as Turkey dealt with yesterday and couldn't get a goal on them despite being a man up. And we trounced them 4-1 against Australia. And again, another side that took it to Turkey that we beat and defeated 2-0. Came out the first half swinging. Yeah, absolutely. Clean sheets, only conceding 1 goal. Ollie, we two wins. And the amount of goals that we scored so far, we scored 6 goals so far. The most that we've ever scored in a World Cup tournament has been 7. We've won two games in the group stage, and we've won back-to-back games. These are things that haven't been done amongst the U.S. men's national team since 1930, since the inaugural World Cup. Yep. So yeah, I should feel optimistic. This is uncharted territory for the United States in this modern era. So why not? Why not dream big? Why not dream quarterfinals? Why not dream semifinals? Why not think that this team can go as far as it takes?
I don't look. They've been very impressive. I've already said that, and you're right to point out the amount of goals they've scored. I think they've been on the front foot. They've been very impressive attacking wise. Have they been the best team at the tournament? I'm not quite sure.
Who has?
There's reason to be optimistic. I think the second half we saw from England was unbelievably impressive. I really do think.
You're talking about one half of football after seeing 2 goals in which some people are blaming the air conditioning. Some people are blaming the air conditioning with Jordan Pickford. Someone was blaming the air conditioning of Jordan Pickford. You guys are in a dome condition. We saw in that match against USA Australia, the German official in 75-degree heat was cramping in the 85th minute. Let's see how England does when they're outside in the conditions and they're not a nice little cozy dome.
All right, jump in the chat, by the way, on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. Dylan says, delusional isn't the word. This American fan sounds like an Arsenal fan, which is fitting, isn't it? Because you are both.
I am. Absolutely.
Do you feel that the so far the US, and I'm going to put England in there as well because I have to, because I have been sharing this optimism that you're showing about your own team. Of course I have. I've just said that that half of football was the most impressive being at the tournament. Do you think that we are both the Arsenal fans of this tournament so far?
That is a great question. Are we? I don't know. I think it'd be tough to compare Arsenal to the United States, considering the history that Arsenal has. With all due respect to my friends in North London.
I mean fans. I mean insufferable. I mean a bit irritating. I mean the fans that other nations
fantastic,
are going to sit there
supporting,
and go,
encouraging, believing, optimistic, hopeful, determined, courageous, brave, bold. Are those adjectives you're looking for? Because if that's the case, absolutely.
I would love to be the Arsenal fans. Mate. This is amazing.
I mean, again, I'm an award-winning journalist for a reason. If that's what you want to compare the United States to Arsenal for all those great things that those fans in North London get to appreciate and accomplish, I will gladly be the Arsenal of the World Cup. 1,000%. No questions about it. Because we know how the story ends, Ali, and that's with a parade. And I'm ready for it.
Yeah, what are you going to wear to it? Do you know yet? That big US parade?
Will I wear anything at all? Is the question.
I hope so. By the way, you pointed out that Paraguay game, and we have had maybe one of my favourite moments of this World Cup so far. And I tell you what, like you, I'm trying my absolute best to watch every minute of football. But as you know, over here, it's not on at the best time. Sometimes it's overnight. Sometimes what I'm doing is I'm kind of half asleep and just keeping an eye on it. And when there's a big moment, I'll wake up.
Inconvenient time.
Mate, come on.
That must be tough. That must be tough. Every weekend we got to deal with that. Now you guys got to deal with it for 1 month, and it's tough, isn't it?
But either way, what tends to happen is if a goal goes in or a big moment happens, that'll spring me into life, and I'll make sure that I watch it all. There was a moment in the Paraguay-Turkey game yesterday. Let's just say this woke me up.
Number 10, Paraguay, cover his mouth. Decision is red card.
Now, that was Mickey Almiron getting sent off. So it's actually a bit of history. He covered his mouth when speaking to someone when there was a bit of a ruckus going on between Paraguay and Turkey. So Mickey Almiron, Newcastle legend, of course, sees the red card. But that announcement from the referee was so good. And what you don't get with just the audio there is the way he brandished the card as well. Red card, get off. I was waiting for John Cena to run onto the pitch. It was that dramatic. It's unbelievable. And I tell you what, honestly, I want to see it in the Premier League. All we're used to is these refs trotting out and going, after review, it might have been a penalty, I still haven't decided yet. So boring. I would love VAR if every referee announced the decisions like that. The drama of that in that stadium must have been amazing.
Oh, I'm sure this must have been incredible. It was hard to figure out what it was at first that was going on, and then you remember the covering the mouth rule. I think they also had a delayed substitution as well. They also had a 5-second turnover. Like Paraguay literally experienced they broke every rule that has been set in this FIFA World Cup, and still beat Turkey down a man for a whole half. Truly, it's like Paraguay never chose to even read the new handbook in terms of what the new rules were. They're like, we're just going to play our game and see how it goes. And still we're good enough to beat a Turkey side. It truly is what a fantastic World Cup.
I tell you what it is, though. Turkey always let you down, man. They're always the kind of hipster's choice. There was the dark horse. They've got some really talented players. By the way, 62 shots Turkey have had with no goals. No goals. Unbelievable.
It's hard to fathom, especially in that second half. It truly, I thought it would have been a 1-1 draw. It is mind-boggling to think right now that we're going into the third match in this group, and Turkey is already eliminated.
Amazing.
That is a scenario in which I think I picked them third in the group because, like you said, you never know what the inconsistencies. They're always on the front foot, and they can be exposed on the counter as Australia was able to catch them in the first match. But I was not anticipating that this match against USA Turkey would literally be meaningless. It'd be a dead rubber match.
Yeah.
And kudos to Paraguay and Australia. Some tough opponents in this group that people may not be given enough credit to, including yourself.
Well, I love this. Pretty mad then. That's starting the US absolutely on fire. Coming up on the show, we are USMNT heavy. Alex Goldberg is going to join us. Looking forward to that. We'll also chat.
Come on, Goldberg. Scotland. Come on, Goldberg. Believe Goldberg. I need you to believe Goldberg. We need you, Goldberg.
He wasn't that confident. We're going to see if he's changed his tune.
No, he absolutely wasn't.
Paul Lambert is going to join us. Champions League winner, of course. We'll chat to him about Scotland a bit later on. Nate Bukaty is going to stop by too. And Kellyn Acosta. Really looking forward to the show. This is The S Word, sponsored by Cowshy.
From kickoff to the full-time whistle, talkSPORT presents The S Word. From kickoff to the full-time whistle. Don't say the S word. Say the F word. Football. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Number 10, Paraguay, cover his mouth. Decision is red card. Cover his mouth.
You can't see us, Ali. You can't see us, Ali. Our time is now.
Decision, red card. I honestly was just waiting for him or Stone Cold just sprinting on with a chair. Bash. Oh, I love it. Every single ref needs to announce red cards like that. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. And it was to Miggy Almiron, my hero. I didn't want to see him get a red card, Master. I didn't want to see that. But the way that was announced, I wanted the whole team to get sent off. Brilliant. This is the S Word with talkSPORT here with myself, Ollie, alongside Master Tess Fatsian, of course. Now it's time to speak to one of our favourite guests on the show, of course, who after last week's win against Paraguay didn't want to get too carried away. We're going to chat to him in just a moment. But, I mean, that win last night, I do want to talk a bit about that second half. Look, we talk about Alex potentially getting a bit carried away there. But were there elements?
You haven't even talked about the first half. You want to talk about the second half? You ain't even talk about the first half.
All right, then go on then. Tell me what you liked.
No. You tell me. You tell me. You are the one that don't talk about the second. Talk about the first half. Talk about how great our pressing has been. Talk about how ferocious and suffocating we have been. How great this formation has been. How Serginho Dest has been absolutely wonderful as a wingback. How Alex Freeman came in and scored his first ever World Cup goal. How without Christian Pulisic we were able to respond and have a tremendous performance in the midfield. Come on, talk about that.
Do you know what I want to ask you, right, is before this tournament that you had a few questions about Mauricio Pochettino. Let's be honest, you weren't quite happy with maybe the way that he'd spoken to the US fans. You weren't really happy about the way that he hadn't called up players to say they weren't in the squad. Have you been pleasantly surprised so far with the way that he's set you up and the football that he's been playing? In a way, do you want to apologise to Mauricio Pochettino for doubting him pre-tournament?
I mean, it's been tremendous, but I had reason to doubt him because I did not see this. We saw it in bits and pieces, last fall when he went with this formation and went with the wingbacks and back five, but it wasn't something that suggested that there would be any hope or optimism. I mean, there was some in the last set of friendlies coming into this World Cup with the performance they had against Senegal and the first half they had against Germany, and I gave credit to the performances and what I saw, and I was like, hey, this could be something. But I mean, you to act like and to dismiss as if the vibes and this hasn't been shocking in any way in terms of how they've been performing, that would be completely dismissive of everything that has happened leading up to this World Cup. That just was not the case with this U.S. men's national team. There wasn't too much optimism or hope that you could have in believing that these would be the performances the U.S. men's national team would have. To be this dominant in the first two matches, to be able to be well on their way of setting an unprecedented level of success through the group stage, winning the first two matches, scoring 6 goals, putting up a clean sheet against Australia, conceding only just 1 goal in the first two matches. Like this hasn't been a scrappy roll up your sleeve and let's do our best U.S. men's national team. This has been pure domination for 2 matches.
Do you think there's actually a few parallels you can draw with England on that when it comes to the manager? Because I think when Thomas Tuchel announced his England squad, there were a lot of raised eyebrows, there was a lot of doubts. There's been a few performances in the build-up. This is so similar to the US, really, isn't it? Even though they were friendlies, there was a defeat to Japan. If you go further back, there was a defeat to Senegal. And a few fans, I think, heading into this tournament weren't that excited and didn't think that too much would change and maybe that it would be a complete flop. Now, we've only played 1 game and there were things to fix in that. But do you think that there's a similarity there that actually we've both realised, hold on, we've got elite coaches here. We've got very good managers who know how to set this team up tactically and get the best out of them?
Absolutely. I absolutely can see the parallels between the two nations and the way the fan bases responded to it. I mean, it's a scary concept to have someone that's not from your country taking over the national team in a pivotal and crucial World Cup for the United States and both for England as well, considering the level of talent that both of these nations have going into this tournament and the chances to make a deep run and, potentially even win it for certain nations as well. But I think the biggest difference was the messaging in which Tuchel provided. I thought he was maybe the English barrier had something to do with the Pochettino message that just wasn't coming through amongst the English-speaking Americans. Because I've heard from my Spanish friends that when Pochettino speaks in Spanish, he's much more clear, concise, and actually is a great interviewer. But in terms of the English, it just felt like the language barrier just wasn't translating in that kind of way. And that's all we could take from his perspective. Whereas with Tuchel, he made it very clear and known that he was going to embrace the identity of the English and approach that in a very pragmatic way. What I will say, though, as of late, the messaging has been very clear from Pochettino in terms of embracing that Americanism, in terms of embracing that confidence, that sheer will, that American arrogance that a lot of people just cannot stand, but we need it in the sport. We have lacked it in the sport. And thanks to him, I feel like we are displaying that in the sport now. When he's talking about he's not trying to take no mess, when he's talking about giving it your all, smashing them from the get-go, the style of play that we have, taking it straight to the teams in terms of the press and the counter that we have, scoring the first goal in both of these matches as well. That is the American way. We are the, for better for worse, we do best when we're on the front foot, and this team is embodying that. And that is something, again, that we have not seen from this era of players up until this point.
You say that certain teams can win it. Do you genuinely believe after these first 2 games against Paraguay and Australia that the US men's national team can win the World Cup?
I believe it now more than I did 2 weeks ago. Absolutely. I do. There's still obviously questions that still need to be addressed. Matt Freese really hasn't been tested, I'd say, and I think that's a huge credit, again, to how tremendous we have been. I think we've been the best nation to this point in terms of our press and our tenacity and in terms of how physical and tenacious we have been. It's hard for me to find another nation that has been able to recover, but as soon as they lose possession, being able to regain it back. It's hard for me to find another nation that's done as bad as well as America has.
With that in mind, do you think right now, I think when you look across the board at some of the bigger nations, and some of these might be a bit hypothetical because they might not be in your side of the draw, if you get what I'm saying, but let's take Brazil for example. Look, I know they strolled past Haiti yesterday, but I don't think they had an attempt on target in the second half. They were pretty flat against Morocco. Do you think right now, if the US team played Brazil, they'd win?
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst Brazil side of my life, to be honest with you. You see the back line, you see that midfield. Outside of individual efforts from Vinicius Jr. and Mateus Cunha, beyond that, in terms of what that second half was, as you mentioned, it's. Yeah, I mean, I think I could say confidently now more than I ever have that, yeah, we'd give them a good fight. You talk about Spain in terms of what they look like in their performance against Cape Verde. There's questions to be had there as well.
You beat Spain.
Portugal.
Do you think you beat Spain?
In terms of Portugal and DR Congo, like, bro, look at these. You want to base this off these matches. You keep talking about how the U.S. only played Paraguay and only played Australia. Spain played Cape Verde. Did you watch Cape Verde before this World Cup?
No.
Did you watch DR Congo before this World Cup?
I watched Shauyan Noorfeshan, mate, number 9 for Newcastle.
I'm talking about the actual nation. Did you? No. So why are people knocking America for facing Australia and Paraguay when the best nations in Europe, the best nations in the world, are facing nations in which the majority of this world has not seen them play in a competitive match? And we saw how they looked. We saw how Spain looked. We saw how Portugal looked. So why not? If you want to base this off of what we've seen performances-wise, why does it sound delusional for me to think that the United States could go head-to-head and toe-to-toe with them?
I want to talk to you about the 2 performances because I felt, you saw the fireworks, didn't you, against Paraguay? They were ruthless up front. It felt to me as if in this second game with Australia, there was a lot more control, wasn't there? And look, we've talked about the second half and the fact that maybe, there was moments where they could have been a bit stronger, a bit better, but that happens in football. That happens across the 90 minutes. That's fine. Did you feel that there was that kind of difference in the 2 performances? And does that show the tactical flexibility of Pochettino?
Yeah, I definitely did. In terms of just how they dominated possession in that first half and pretty much stayed in Australia's half for much of that first half, I thought it was really impressive. And it just kept feeling like the goal was going to come, and then once that goal finally came, that there was a second one along the way that would arrive right before halftime, and it was beautiful to watch, especially down the right side. What the combinations, what they were able to do along the right side, it was just absolutely beautiful. All credit to Pochettino of pairing up Balogun with Pepe up top. In the absence of Pulisic, I thought that was a tremendous decision, and you saw Balogun obviously making that run along the left side, crossing again and trying to cross it into Pepe, and obviously leading to an own goal. So, yeah, in the first half, it truly was a different experience. And again, having to adjust to the absence of Christian Pulisic, the United States, this would have been a team under Greg Berhalter in the absence of Pulisic. I would be praying for a draw. I'd be praying for a draw or a very narrow loss to keep in mind the goal differential situation, where now there is a confidence in this team based off the performance they had against Paraguay and the messaging that Pochettino's providing for these players, that you can tell there's an instilled belief the players have that we can perform and get 3 points without Christian Pulisic. And there's a belief among the fans too that, hey, even without Pulisic, we're going to give this a go, and we can get 3 points against Australia, no question.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, actually, about Pulisic, and it speaks to that belief argument, doesn't it? And you're absolutely right to point that out. And you've also pointed out you'll beat Spain and Brazil and you'll win the whole thing, which is so exciting for you. Honestly, it really is. In fact, you're enjoying
yourself. Is it still coming home?
So much. Oh, big time, mate. USA-England final. That could be something, couldn't it? But you've been enjoying yourself so much, Master, that you yourself kind of got carried away. I don't know if this was pre-game or post-game, but either way, what on earth were you doing here?
This
is a bit of hula hooping, is that right?
It was an attempt. It was an attempt.
Look at the Aussie guy next to you; he's on fire. And then let's have a look. So, this is your audition tape to get into the Olympic. Oh no! Can
I talk you through this? Okay. Pre-game, as we're going through to the stadium, walking through the gates, I'm in line with these Aussies, and they were tremendous people. And we're doing some banter back and forth. I had some foreign exchange students in college that were Aussies, so they taught me Aussie rules football. So one of them has like a Foster's shirt on. We're cracking jokes and stuff. I tell them I know the Aussie rules football. I'm like, oh, who's your team? And basically I picked like the New York Yankees of Aussie rules, Collingwood, just to be, again, just an arrogant. So like, oh, you're Aussie, you're Collingwood. As if we couldn't hate you enough as it was. So, it was some really fun banter with them. After the match, I'm just going around dancing and celebrating because, there's a DJ and that's what we do here in America. We like to have fun when we watch sports. So I'm dancing with the DJ and just dancing around and on the concourse, and I bump into them again.
Yeah.
And he hands me, you see there's a green hat I'm wearing. It's an Aussie hat he hands me. I put it on. He starts to go hula hoop. He's like, hey, come on, join us. I'm like, all right, why not? At that point, Ali, you could have told me to swim in the Pacific Ocean.
Do you know what's quite funny?
In the Puget Sound.
You know Ray Gunn, the breakdancer, Aussie breakdancer from back in the day. Your attempt is up there with that, I would say, the hula hooping.
Hey, listen. My attempt at hula hooping was much better than Australia's attempt at football. I'll tell you that much. Okay?
Do you know what? Weirdly, you mentioned that AFL team, Collingwood there. Also my team. Do you know why? Playing black and white.
Why? Good old Collingwood forever. They know how to play the game. Come on now. I sung that song to them, and they literally were just like, you could tell they were just cringing so bad, and it brought me so much joy. Just Ali, the very minutiae, like niche banter that you can provide in the World Cup to these different nations. That is the joy in all this. That is like the little, you know what I'm saying? Just right in the kisser. So, but Aussie fans, they were great. Had a lot of fun with them. Had a lot of fun with the banter. The experiences, though, I will say, as deep as they were, and I'm sure you saw the pockets of yellow that were in the crowd as well. I knew we were going to win this game when I saw them marching down first half together, and it looked a bit intimidating. I'm not gonna lie to you. Then they all got down. They all knelt down, and they tried to do the sha la 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 Australia. When they finished it, and I saw how weak of an attempt that was of a chant. I literally walked off and I said, "Oh, we're winning this game. We're absolutely winning this game. If this is the best, if this is the best effort that they have right now from the fans, this thing is done and dusted. This is 90 minutes of ray gun right here that we're about to experience from these fans. And they would have been better off truly breakdancing on the streets of Seattle than they would have chanting, because that was a pathetic
I reckon a lot of them saw you hula hooping and thought we've won this game already. To be honest with you,
I mean it was after the match, so I mean the game was done and dusted at that point.
God,
so
thank the Lord you didn't do it before the game, mate. Because honestly, if that got through to Pochettino's dressing room, mate, that's 4-0 Australia. 100%.
They would have loved every second of it. And I would have, trust me. There are other videos of me dancing that thankfully that you will not see the light of day of. But
yeah, well,
maybe somebody else. Maybe somebody else has some footage on that one. But man, it truly was though. Again, Seattle is an incredible city for this sport, and I think that has been the beautiful aspect of this World Cup, is seeing the different interpretations of different cities across America. And when I talk to people not only in the States but all around the world about the sport, and they're always like, oh, it looks like people in New York care about it and people in Miami. I'm like, no, people on the West Coast has the best soccer fans in this country. In LA, it is the most played sport in the city. in Seattle. You see the atmosphere and experience. The U.S. men's national team has played 7 matches there. They have won all 7 matches. Well, you can go down the coastline, go down the 5. You go to Portland. Portland, amazing experience and atmosphere. The Bay Area, tremendous experience and atmosphere. San Diego, L.A., the entire West Coast. And we're not even talking about Arizona. We're not even talking about Vegas. The West Coast truly embodies the passion, the pride, the love, the joy of this game. And I truly think they do lead the way in this country in terms of displaying and embodying the true spirit of the American soccer fan.
Can I just ask quickly, just on the game once again, who was your MVP yesterday? Who was your man of the match?
Oh, I mean, Serginho Dest was
He was brilliant.
Absolutely sensational. He was tremendous. I thought Tyler Adams and Tillman and McKenzie, they were wonderful as well, spectacular in that midfield, dominating. I'd probably give a slight edge to Serginho Dest. I think, unfortunately for him, he's dealt with a ton of injuries, and he's still very young, hasn't even really truly entered the prime of his career, and has always had this potential, though, and this hope of being this difference maker, this game changer, and truly in this formation that Pochettino has him in, with Anthony Robinson on the left and Dest on the right. And I mean, he switched up here in the midfield for this performance, and he excelled in that position as well. So knowing that Dest can be moved around and still be effective and still make his impact in the starting 11, I think is an incredibly encouraging sign, and something that if you would have asked me a couple months ago or maybe even a year ago, I don't even know if we would have had a healthy Serginho Dest in time for this summer's World Cup, just because he just has lacked to have that level of fitness, unfortunately, just some bad luck. But he absolutely should have deserved man of the match. I think Balogun won it ultimately in terms of the actual award or trophy, but I would have gave it to Dest. I think he truly deserves it, and what he has accomplished so far in this tournament in the first 2 matches is truly a sight to behold.
Yeah, I'm glad you said Dest. That's who I would have had too. I thought he was fantastic in that game. I'm really hoping
Chris Richards too. Richards has been tremendous too. I mean, he's completed 97.8% of his passes, I believe it is. I think he's only missed 3 or 4 of his passes. He has been rock solid in the back. That was another concern I had as well, was being injured at Crystal Palace, not playing in the Conference League final, and missing out on the friendlies leading up to the World Cup. We desperately needed Chris Richards. We conceded a goal 2 minutes in against Germany on a set piece to Kai Havertz that if Chris Richards was there, I kept telling everyone on the show, that probably doesn't get, but we probably don't allow that goal. Chris Richards has been an absolute rock in the back line, and him and Tim Ream, as the AG veteran, has served to be a very solid duo so far at centre back for the United States. Yeah,
he's been a rock in that back 3 for Palace too. Chris Richards. There's been a couple of times this season where he's been maybe missing from the side, and they felt the effect of that, Crystal Palace, and so he's important for them. He's important for you. I'm really hoping, by the way, Master, that the power of the S word means that some of those US players see your hula hooping, and in the next game, if they score, which they probably will because they're on fire, we see the hula hoop. We see the hula hoop. Oh, and he's bringing it out.
Come on,
again.
Come on. Come on.
He's hula hoop there than you did last night.
Hey, listen. After you have a couple of beverages from
all the techers goes. All the techers goes.
From 8 a.m. to about what was that, about 2:30ish? It's hey, my jeans were tight, Ollie. The jeans were tight. I had on some tight jeans. All right, I had my pockets were full.
Loosen them up. Loosen your hips up.
Yeah. I'll wear some. I'll wear some shorts. And I'll give it a go. Thankfully, we get to go again, Ollie. Exactly. Thankfully, we get to go again. Yeah. We go again.
All the way to the final, apparently. Coming up on the show, we'll chat to Paul Lambert coming up next. Champions League winner, of course. We'll chat to him about Scotland's defeat to Morocco. Nate Bukaty's going to join us to chat more about the USMNT. And Kellyn Acosta too. Plenty to come for you. This is the S Word, sponsored by Kalshi. Our hits don't lie.
Big name reaction from both sides of the pod. The S Word from talkSPORT. talkSPORT presents The S Word. Get your full-on football fix from across the football galaxy. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Hello, welcome
that was
back
good.
to the S Word
Come on.
here on talkSPORT with myself, Ollie Kling, in London with the trophy. With the trophy itself. This won't be the only English hand lifting this thing this summer.
Yeah, it looks like a replica. It looks like
I was going to say, because we've got another one upstairs, which the other presenters
the real one's staying here, baby.
Yeah.
It's staying here. It's not leaving this country, baby.
Oh, I love it. Masters out in Los Angeles at the moment. Now, there was another couple of huge group stage games last night, including this year's World Cup darlings, Scotland, who have taken America by storm. They are the sweethearts, aren't they? Here's how they got on yesterday, though, against Morocco.
It is time for heroes to be made, for history to be written. Is tonight the night? We will find out.
One of the best teams in the world, and we're disappointed we never took anything for the game.
Early ball to Saibari, who's kept himself onside and smashes it into the net. A minute and 10 seconds have been played, and Scotland are 1-0 down already.
Keep the head, stay composed, stay compact.
And all of Scotland's nerves, frailties, memories of disappointments from the past have come to the fore again here. But there is a heck of a long way to go.
I think on another day we could have got some decisions going our way, but it hasn't happened. We'll look at what we can do better.
Can he force his way through here, John McGinn? Oh, is he caught on the edge of the box? That's a massive decision.
Well, for all the world, from here it looks like a penalty. Come right across him and wiped him out.
Andy Robertson, Scotland, Tominay goes down, and again no penalty is given. What a moment in the game.
But you can feel now the rage coming from the Tartan Army.
And that is it. Scotland are beaten in Boston. It will go to the final match round in Miami against Brazil, an iconic venue against an iconic footballing nation.
Yeah, heartbreak for the Scots. I'm delighted to say joining us now is a man who played for Scotland the last time they were at a World Cup, and he's a Champions League winner, the former Scotland midfielder. Paul Lambert is with us. How you doing, Paul?
I'm good, very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, really good, thank you,
Come on.
Paul. It's not the result, of course, that Scotland would have wanted. What did you make of the performance last night?
Oh, I mean, obviously we started pretty badly, and but you still have 90+ minutes to get a goal. I think that put us on the back foot. I think they could have been 2 or 3 up if they took their chances, and then we'd be dead in the water. But we stuck in there, we regrouped, and I thought towards the end of the first half we started to get 1 or 2 passes in, which we never done at the start of the game. The second half, I thought we'd done a lot better without really creating too many chances. I always thought the group would be like this. Haiti was a must-win game. That was a must-win. And if you get anything from Morocco or Brazil, then you like to think 4 points could be enough for you.
Yeah, it could get pretty tasty, couldn't it? You've got that final game against Brazil. We'll come on to that in just a moment, but we have to talk about the referee, and we have to talk about some of those decisions. They had 2 penalty shouts. There could have been a sending off from Morocco too. But the one I want to start with is the McTominay one, which seems the most controversial. You had Christina Uncle on the coverage. She's a friend of this show, of course, referee, and she thought that it was a penalty. What was your read on it?
Out of the 2 penalties, I think John McGinn's was definitely more of an infringement there. Scots, I'm not so sure. That was a penalty. If I was playing in it, I would want a penalty 100%. But if I was defending it, I'm not so sure. But John McGinn one, I think, is definitely one that, because the defender's tackled with his wrong foot. He's came across his body with his wrong foot. It's naive defending, if the truth be known. And so he's a natural right footer, that lad that made the tackle, but he's tackled with the wrong foot, and that's why I think that one's more a penalty than Scott's.
I thought one of the stars for Scotland, of course, was Ben Gannon-Doak, who made such a massive impact, didn't he? He's been terrific so far at this World Cup. Kind of plays with a fearlessness, doesn't he?
I thought he'd have started for us. I really did. I thought he'd have started for us in that way there. So I thought he had a very good game against Haiti. And he's the one player that can excite people and get at people in 1v1 situations. So I think he might come back into the reckoning for the Brazil game, because we have to get something from them. But we can't go gun-ho either, or else we'll get picked off.
I was a bit surprised that he didn't get the start, considering how dynamic he looked against Haiti. But 0 shots on target. What has to change for Scotland to create more chances and not be so dependent on an officiating call potentially to help get a point in this final match?
Yeah, totally agree with you on that assessment there, depending on a referee. The referee is there to do his best and understand that he let some things go, which is fine, but I would rather the game flow than stop-start every couple of minutes. But the point you're making there is really valid. So we've never been a nation where we're going to create and make lots of chances. We've not got the type of players, and you can go way back to the 70s. We've never had the type of players that can create chance after chance after chance. We've got guys who can take them when we do make them, but creating chances has always been Achilles' heel for us. So work ethic in our team against Brazil has to be bang on the money, because if you look at Brazil's front three, they make goals out of nothing, and we don't have that.
Just going back to Ganondot, you referenced it there, that game against Brazil. Now, obviously, you've managed some top sides, Paul. You've managed like Aston Villa and Norwich in the Premier League. What would you do in this situation? It's such a tough call, I think, this for Steve Clarke, because like you point out, you need to get something from the game. He's been one of your most exciting attacking players, but at the same time, you could try and sharp shop against this Brazil side who had no attempts on target in the second half of their game against Haiti and try and squeak out a point. How would you set up if you were in charge?
Well, I think that Brazil had done the damage in the first half, so they could take the foot off the gas, 3-0 up in the first half. The game's over. And I think, as I said there, I think we have to be really careful we don't go gun-ho, but Ganondot, I think, is the one player that if you get it at him, he's not playing against a Roberto Carlos. He's absolutely not doing that. The lad's a good player at left back, but he's certainly not Roberto Carlos where he's going to fly up and down the wing. So you would try and get him the ball if he's going to play. I really don't know. So I would definitely play him, but I would play 3 in the middle of the pitch, because I don't think we can afford to get overrun in there, because they played 3 last night. So I don't think we can play that way. I would play Scott McTominay off a striker and let him hit the box every time, because at the minute I don't think he's doing that role.
Yeah, it's would love to see more from him, and would love to see more from some of these Scottish players, of course, that have been excelling all throughout European football and leading up to this World Cup. But from your vantage point, though, I've thoroughly enjoyed seeing all the Scottish fans in New York and Boston. I've engaged in experience with them. I've been traveling around the country, and everywhere I go, no Scotland no party stuck in my head. For you, how beautiful has it been to see that dynamic with Scottish fans just being embraced here in this country and really taking over this World Cup?
I think you've made a really valid point where I think wherever the Tartan Army go, they get a great reception from people, but they certainly embrace the country they go to or the city that they're going in. Obviously, Boston's experienced it, and we don't cause any trouble, even though there's so much alcohol consumed. we don't cause trouble, and that's the beauty about it. We're a really kind of friendly nation that way. And what I find with the national team at the minute, they've got a really good bond with the support, and they stick with them, and I think that's really important, because they'll need them against Brazil, albeit a support doesn't win you a game. It's the players, but they'll certainly go there in the thousands to watch them again. But I think there's a real good feeling in our country at the minute because of what the lads have done.
Paul, follow up with that real quick. To follow up with that, Paul, what do you think that connection with the national team and the fans right now, what do you think that will do moving forward for the Federation?
I think it's massive. I really do. I think it's huge for us. I think whatever happens against Brazil, 3 points might be enough, but I'm not so sure because the goal difference, I don't know. So we can't take that for granted either. But I think whatever happens, Scotland's done, or the players have done the country proud, because first and foremost, the first time in 28 years since we got there, it's never a given that you're going to get there again. It's going to be another 4 years. So whatever happens against Brazil, then I'm pretty sure the fans will give them a good reception.
Yeah, it's so true, and it's a tough group, Paul. Let's be honest. You know, they managed to get past Haiti. They did all right against Morocco, like you said. The first half was maybe left wanting a bit. And it's funny when you look at what Steve Clarke's achieved. He's done so much. He goes down as a legendary manager, doesn't he? In terms of Scottish football, by getting them two tournaments. Do you think with when they've actually got to those tournaments, though, that there is the element of pressure getting a bit too much for this Scottish side? Is that what you'd put some of the performances down to?
No, I just think that you've got to give the opposition a lot of credit for the way they play. Because if you look at our team, a lot of lads play in England at the highest level. A lot of lads are playing abroad at the highest level. So they're used to big games. So the players, I certainly think that they're more than capable of handling big occasions and big games to get a result. So, and we're still in the group. I think what happened was a draw. Haiti coming out first certainly put us in a position, because if we get Morocco first and Brazil second, we'd been out of the tournament, or we could have been out of the tournament before it even started, really. And so you'd always rely on the Haiti game to get 3 points. That was always a key game. Whatever we get from Brazil and Morocco is going to be a bonus. And if we don't get that point, you have to rely on what happens with other 8 teams' goal difference.
I just wanted to ask you about...
I don't want this ride to end. I don't want this ride to end as an American. I want to see you guys go as far as you possibly can. I love going to the train stations and seeing everyone in the bagpipes and their kilts and you guys drinking all these towns dry. I do not want this Scottish party to end. I truly do not. So I am pulling for you guys. As much as I love Brazil, and I have always supported Brazil when it comes to the World Cup and international competitions, I am rooting for Scotland. I think I speak on behalf of pretty much every single American. We are all getting behind you and rooting for you in this match so you can continue this journey.
No, I think that's again, and I think that's where we're spending all the money in your country there, and all the drink, all the beers flowing. I think you're quite happy for us to come every day. So,
hey, next drink's on me. How about that? We'll make it even.
I'll take that. Yeah.
I tell you what, as well, even if you go out in the groups here, Paul, I believe that the Boston Mayor has been so taken with the Scottish fans that they're now twinned with Glasgow. So at least you can take that away from the World Cup.
Oh no, listen, I think Boston will want us to play every game there. I think there. So, but I'm pretty sure Miami is going to get it the same. They won't know it's hit them when all the fans come there. It's going to be brilliant because, as I said, there's never any trouble. And I think that I saw the report that the fans were clearing up the rubbish from, which is great. Which is a lot of respect to Boston and America. I think that they've done that very good.
Yeah, best fans of the tournament.
There's no better city to qualify into the knockout stage than Miami, Florida. So it could be a perfect, as much fun as you had in Boston. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing some Scottish fans jumping in the Atlantic Ocean if lo and behold Scotland somehow finds it in the knockout stage.
Oh, they'll definitely be there. I'm pretty sure they'll be, because you just go on the rollerblades and that down there, don't you? I'm pretty sure you'll see some of them nicking a few pairs of them and they'll be right on them.
Forget the alcohol sales, by the way. The sun cream sales are going to be through the roof too.
Through the roof.
Oh yeah, that's coming. Yeah, the heat. Oh yeah.
Oh, Paul, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Oh man,
no problem. Cheers, guys.
Really enjoyed.
No Scotland, no really party, baby.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they've been the best fans at the tournament, haven't they?
100%, without question. Norway's been great as well, doing the rowing thing. That's been wonderful. I think the U.S. has been tremendous, obviously, from my own biased perspective. I enjoyed what I saw from Canada and Vancouver. I thought that atmosphere, and I had a lot of friends and media reporters that were there, and they described it as one of their favorite atmospheres that they've seen so far in this World Cup. And, of course, Mexico's Mexico. South Korea here in L.A. The vibes look... I don't know if you've seen the footage from the drones in Koreatown, but... Koreans, huge population here in LA, Mexicans as well. They got together in Koreatown and it looked like a spectacle that I was a bit jealous that I wasn't there for.
Yeah, are you missing a team there, England fans?
Yeah, they've been great. I saw them at the rodeo. They seemed like they had a great time in Dallas. Had a great hospitality in Dallas.
Yeah, have you seen the Wonder Wall after the game? I thought that was magnificent. That and I tell you something. To be honest with you, it gets rid of Sweet Caroline, which has been great for a while, but it was getting a bit old. And to see a bit of Oasis at the end of the game, that is what I'm here for. I loved that, and seeing the players singing along too, I really enjoyed that.
It's all. We're taking Sweet Caroline back. It's all good. Don't worry about it. We loaned it out to you guys. It's that's coming home now. Yeah. That's coming home.
You have it. It doesn't get you anything. I'll tell you that. Anyway,
speak for yourself.
Plenty still to come on the S word. We'll get stuck into the USMNT a bit more detail a bit later on. Nate Bukaty is going to stop by in just a moment. You're with us here, Ollie Clinton, Master Test Fasting, on the S word on the talkSPORT YouTube channel.
From the touchline to the terraces, talkSPORT presents the S word. S Word, featuring Will Gavin and Master Tesfasian. And a squad of big-name contributors. The S Word from talkSPORT.
And with the local DBC news, LL Cool J with the triumph. Number 10, far away, cover his mouth. Decision is red card.
Oh, I love
Cover his mouth.
It's so good. Honestly, I think every single DJ in the world should be sampling that. They have to. They have to.
Ollie, that would mean that there would have to be fewer English refs in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
Are you
no
comfortable?
DJ sampling after review. Red card, number 5. I love that referee. I love him. And a bit of LL Cool J, by the way. And that, do you know why? Because the US are through to the knockouts, mate. And they are cooking at the moment. This is the S Word here on the talkSPORT YouTube channel, on the S Word YouTube channel as well. Me and Ollie Klink alongside Master Tesfasian, and we are chatting about a brilliant night in Seattle for the USMNT. It was an explosive debut on the show last week for Nate Bukaty, and I'm delighted to say that the US sports commentator and author is back with us. Nate, how you doing, my friend?
Come on, Nate.
Listen, guys, I was already fired up for this, and then you got to bring me in with my favorite genre and era of American music, 80s and 90s hip-hop that originated from New York City. So I'm just going to give you a little tip here when it comes to that generation of music when it relates to Seattle. Do you guys know, I know Master probably knows this, one of the most underrated rappers in American history comes from Seattle, and his name is Sir Mix-a-Lot. And everybody knows the one song, Baby Got Back. They think but he actually has a whole gang of incredible songs like Posse's on Broadway and Rippin', Swass. I mean, Sir Mix-a-Lot from Seattle, low-key, one of the best rappers in American history. How about that for you?
Oh, look
One
at
of the toughest dudes as well. One of the toughest dudes.
Get you on, Nate. This is amazing.
You don't want to try. You don't want to try Sir Mix-a-Lot, bro.
That's right.
He's tapped in the same way Nate is tapped into Kansas City. Nate, I think I saw you hosting the watch party as well once again in Kansas City. What were the vibes like in Kansas City watching that match? What at 2 p.m. over there? Yeah. How was it?
It was hot. It was humid, but not as bad as it can get in Kansas City. So I think the atmosphere was incredible. And the thing you have to remember, guys, so the area where I'm doing these watch parties is called the Power and Light District. That's the place where we've been doing watch parties since 2010. And I would say kind of the place that made the American watch party a thing, really, back in the day. But now we also have FIFA Fan Fest right down the road that's taking place at the National World War I Museum, which is in Kansas City. There's a big lawn there. That place holds 25,000 people. It was packed. And then our place downtown was still packed as well, which just is, I think, shows the kind of support that Kansas City has for this. But I want to tell you guys something else. So I also hosted a watch party in Kansas City for when Argentina played their first game here, and Messi had the hat trick. That was the first ever World Cup game in Kansas City. We had 8,000 fans there, a lot of Argentinian fans that came that must not have had tickets to the game. The night before the USA game, we did the Mexico watch party, and that one was packed, and we must have had 5,000 to 6,000 Mexico fans outside of the venue trying to get in because it was so packed.
Wow.
And the reason I just want to bring that up is there's all this information, and I know deservedly so on many fronts, and I know you guys have covered a lot of the reasons that the United States has maybe earned itself a lot of bad press. I want people to see the side of the U.S. that I'm seeing when I get on stage at these events. I'm hosting watch parties for fans from Argentina and Mexico, and so many Mexican Americans that live in Kansas City. This place was packed. 6,000 fans outside trying to get in, not a single arrest. Fans from Mexico, fans from the United States, everybody having a wonderful time and joy being spread. And it's been like that every day here in Kansas City. And it's just, man, guys, it makes my heart happy inside. And I think sometimes we need to highlight these things as much as we do the other stuff, because there's some really beautiful things happening in America right now.
Yeah, well said. And that's fantastic to hear. And it's fantastic to hear that this nation feels properly gripped. And look, I'm not saying that it wasn't going to be, but I think I said it earlier. The host doing well always helps, always makes a better tournament. And we've seen that from Mexico, from the US, and from Canada so far too. On the US then, what a performance again last night. What impressed you the most?
Well, and I'm just going to build on what you said, though. I think it's even more so for the United States because soccer is something that needs to like earn its place almost by most American fans. They're skeptical. So like in every other country, in Mexico, if they do terribly, every fan of the game of soccer in Mexico is still a fan afterwards, right? Like the game itself is not at risk from being popular in Mexico. The game itself is at risk in the U.S. if the national team doesn't play well. But on the flip side, what you said, they go out and they have these two performances. They have the opportunity to win over millions and millions of new fans. What I like the most is they kept a clean sheet, guys, because I didn't expect this national team, the way their defense is constructed, I felt like is their biggest, question mark coming into this tournament. And they saw that game out. And I know there were some nervy moments in the second half, and there were times when they seemed like they really just couldn't get it out of their defensive third. But when you look at it, Australia didn't really create much in the way of chances at all through the course of the game. 5 shots total. I thought they did a professional job of seeing the game out, and I also loved seeing the two strikers. I loved seeing Balogun and Pepe on the field at the same time. I realize that's because Pulisic wasn't there, but we weren't sure where Poch was going to go in that direction, and I loved seeing those two out there, and I just think that Poch's tactics have been spot on, and it's been a great 2 games so far.
I agree with you. I thought he did tremendous there because what the question was, I mean, some people were asking for Timothy Weah to be in that position, Gio Reyna. I mean, he had so many options of what he could do, but not only did he put Pepe in there, but also Alex Freeman as well, and scoring that goal that he had, and the joy that you saw from the bench erupt after that VAR decision, which is how great are the vibes right now amongst these players. And they're Ali and them, they're killing me because I said beforehand the optimism. I just wasn't sure what I was going to expect from this team. It's hard to anticipate that this was what we would have seen from this team in Pochettino through the first 2 matches. I
was very pessimistic before this tournament started, and I don't like that, and I love how wrong I've been. I think there's all kinds of reasons, but I don't think we even need to keep unpacking that because now we're seeing what actually matters, the matches that matter instead of these friendlies that we were trying to draw conclusions from. I'm so glad you brought up Freeman, Master, because doing play-by-play for Major League Soccer, the last few years, I've had a ton of Orlando City games. So I got to call his games as he was coming up through Orlando City. And I'm going to say something that maybe you'll get a conversation started with you guys right here, because I have always been one of those guys that hates it when I hear, if our best athletes played soccer. If our best athletes played soccer, he might be the case for the people that want to say that. He might be the case to make, because the dude, I saw him as soon as he started playing, you could see big, strong, fast, tough in the tackle, and pretty skilled. And you're like, man, if he can keep developing his skill level and really a lot of it was his tactical awareness too, knowing, and part of it, Oscar Pareja, the manager at Orlando City, used to tell me all the time, once he realizes that he belongs on the field with the designated player that he's marking, and that he can actually demand the ball from his teammates as well that are the more high-paid players, he's going to take off. And you can see, I don't know how many times I saw him score on headers when he was at Orlando City. And I just thought, this guy is exactly the type of player that if the United States can develop the actual tactical awareness and technical ability, it will take the U.S. to another level. Doesn't mean all your guys got to be big and strong, but look at how many big, strong guys we see in the game now. Yeah, you see the tiny little midfielders in Spain and Portugal, but look at that England midfield. Man, those dudes are big, strong athletes, and that's becoming more and more part of the game. And to have a guy like that who can do it defensively and then be a weapon on set pieces because he can get up and win headers, I think I saw Poch say he could be one of the best players in the world at his position, and I don't think Poch just throws out compliments like that cavalierly.
Yeah, and by the way, it does run in the family, of course, doesn't it? Antonio Freeman back in September 1996, scoring 2 touchdowns and winning the Super Bowl for the Packers, which is an amazing story, given that 30 years later, Alex Freeman scoring for Team USA. Earlier, Master was getting very excited, Nate, very excited, maybe a bit too excited, given that they've only beaten Paraguay.
Nah, there's no such thing as being too excited.
Not taking anything away from that, but he was saying you're going to beat Brazil, pessimistic. You could beat Spain, you could win the whole thing. Where are you right now?
Listen, I saw that the path all the way to the quarterfinals keeps him on the West Coast, and maybe that's a good thing. I hesitate to get ahead of myself and predict anything past the quarterfinals at this point. I'm not limiting them and saying that it can't happen, but I still think that's a very reasonable goal for this team, and especially considering now there's an extra round of knockout rounds to get through. You get to the quarterfinals, and I do say all of a sudden there's a wave of emotion that's happening in this country, and a country, I think they are also, by the way, buoyed by the fact that the country's behind them. We talked about that the last time I was on with you guys. Some of it's going to come down to matchups. I will say this. They belong on the field with just about anybody. I'm not saying that they can beat, but you guys know what I'm saying in terms of, like, when you look at the players on this roster, they play with the best players in the world. They play against the best players in the world. They belong on the field with them. And I think we saw that a little bit in the match against Germany. I know that was a friendly, and we all should be aware now that this World Cup performance is a perfect reminder that we can't really take anything away from preseason friendlies or pre-competition friendlies. And here I go taking something away from it, but I thought they showed in that match against Germany through stretches of the game. They belong on the field with them. So you're on home soil. I don't want to rain on, hey, Master, man, don't get carried away, man. Get wrapped up in it. Why not? It's the World Cup.
See, that's what I'm saying, Nate. And, you know, English fans, they always just like, they love to suffer in their own misery. They love to be in this purgatory state where they pretend like they're trying to be a rational fanatic, which is, again, a complete oxymoron. I'm just going to be a fanatic. I came in with the pessimistic vibes. I wasn't sure what I was going to expect from them, but I backed the boys. I showed up to USA Paraguay. I got World Cup fever, and now I'm a complete anti-vaxxer. I want this fever to never go away, and I want this I want this fever to last as long as it can. And Nate, if they do go to the quarterfinals, they're going back to Seattle. And that experience, that environment, that atmosphere, is, I'm sure you know, they haven't lost 7 for 7 in Seattle. That amazing experience. I just came back from there last night. All bets are off. All bets are off at that point.
Do you know what? Can I just say very quickly, I'm such a hypocrite because based on one half of football against Croatia, I fully believe England are going to win the World Cup. So I'm exactly the same as you guys.
Hey, you know what? You guys, you English could use a little optimism. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
I hate
Nate. That. And I'm hoping that the earnest Midwestern Kansas City vibes are just kind of oozing into that England national team camp. You know, a little bit of that Ted Lasso, Kansas City native Ted Lasso. You know, that optimism, that genuine like belief. You know, that's what we do here in the U.S. We believe even when it's ridiculous and outrageous, and they need that. They need that, and they're good enough. I mean, that England team is good enough to go win this World Cup. And I hope they go on a deep run because I want them to remember Kansas City positively forever.
Oh, they definitely will. Just on the next game, it's quite an interesting one. Obviously, you are already through. What do you think Pochettino does? Is it a case of rotation? Do you keep some legs fresh? Do you go out there and keep the momentum going and get another win?
It's a long break.
And keep this wave of emotion? Exactly. I'm just wondering, I'll start with you on this, Nate, but I'd love to hear your thoughts as well, Master. What do you think Pochettino should do?
I'm trying to learn what I can. We've never seen Pochettino as a national team coach before, and I think that's part of the reason that maybe Master and I got a little pessimistic because of trying to figure out what he was doing, you know, in the run-up to this World Cup. It was hard to make sense of it all. If I'm going to take what he did in the matches that didn't matter, the friendlies, this is a match that doesn't matter. He's gonna mess around, you know. He's gonna tinker. He's gonna move guys around. I think he'll rest everybody that he can rest. And this is just me reading the tea leaves of what he's done in the past when he's had competitions that were friendlies or that not important. So I think he's gonna rest as many people as he can. I don't think he's gonna worry that much about momentum. I think he clearly knew, because he didn't worry about that before the World Cup. It was like, we know how we're gonna play once we get there, and we're gonna execute it, and that's what they've done. So it's weird that Turkey side. Everybody was. I believed everybody was overreacting to the fact that Australia got a result instead of looking at the performance. I think we do that all the time. We work backwards. And I was arguing with people on different shows. They're telling me, oh, man, Australia, they played it so perfectly against Turkey. And I'm like, Turkey had 30 shots in that game, and they kept kicking them right at the goalkeeper. If they score one of those goals early, that's a completely different game. And then Turkey does it again in their next match. And I thought we saw the lack of quality from Australia in this last game. Personally, I mean, look, I'm happy about the United States, but I thought Australia showed that they're not a very good team. And so Turkey, disappointing run for them. I think maybe they ran their mouths a little bit, but that's a team that should have done a lot better in this tournament. They just didn't finish their chances, and now we just get to sit back and watch. I think the U.S. is going to take it easy in terms of rotating players. We're going to see some rolled on, maybe, get some guys out.
Bring them all in. Bring McKenzie out there. Bring all them boys out. Yeah. Let them get their World Cup experience, and then maybe we get a little cameo, 15 minutes from Pulisic. Just get him. Hopefully he can be fit enough to get back out there on the pitch and get him ready for the group of 32.
Yeah, Nate, come on then. How far are they going to go? If you had to.
Come on, Nate. Quarterfinals in Seattle. Come on,
Bring
Nate.
that Ted Lasso energy. Come on.
You know what? That's right. Ted Lasso, Jason Sudeikis, a Kansas City guy would tell me, man, don't be shy here. Be bold. We're going to the semifinals, guys. Let's
there we go. There we go, Nate.
We're making history. Kansas City, and the United States, everywhere. Let's go, Master.
I'll see you in Dallas, baby. I'll see you in Dallas, Nate.
Wow.
Can you imagine?
Brilliant.
Can you imagine?
I can't. Oh my God, I cannot.
These guys.
I cannot.
I mean, do you know what's amazing is especially with Master, you're right to point out the pessimism before this tournament. Honestly, I thought you guys might go out in the group stages. That the way that Master was talking about this project, it's taken 2 games and you get into the semis. Amazing. I love it. I genuinely
It's staying here. It's staying here, baby.
The one thing that I did say every time somebody would ask me before the tournament, what do you think of the U.S., I would list off all the problems I thought they had. That's what I started with. I don't see an identity. I don't know what the system is. The players seem a little cranky and like they're not even happy to be here. The manager might have one foot out the door. He's interviewing for other jobs. But I always would say the thing about a competition like this is all it takes is one moment to bring the group together. And if they get that moment, everything can change. And that is a weird thing about this competition, right, guys? Like, you see it. If you look back in the history of the World Cup, how many times in the group stages, I mean, just look at what Argentina did last time around. Their first game was a disaster, but they had a moment that brought them together. For me, it was that moment they had against the Netherlands when they got into the dust-up, and it was like, okay, this is us. We're here. You get that moment, and it changes everything. And I mean, I think the U.S. coming out the way that they did against Paraguay might have been that moment, and seeing the way the fans actually turned out for them, which they haven't experienced as a national team in their lives, this group of players. So here we go. It was this way, and now it's that way. And we're full steam ahead, guys.
Baby.
Nate, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been an education on football. It's been an education on hip hop too. Can you just give us one Sir Mix-a-Lot track that everyone needs to listen to before you go?
Rippin's my favorite song by Sir Mix-a-Lot. I mean, you're talking old school hip hop now. Posse's on Broadway. Those two would probably be my favorite of all time. But just check out his catalog. He's got a unique style. He's, I think, universally respected in the hip hop community, and he's from Seattle, which most people don't think of as like, one of the hip hop hotbeds of the United States. But he represents, and maybe he should become one of the the figures that we follow for when the matches are in Seattle. One of the great markets in soccer in the United States as well.
There's only one man who represents. It's you, Nate Bukaty. Thank you so much for joining us.
Have me on again, guys. We're going to keep this rolling all the way to the semifinals at least.
Come on.
Yeah.
I think we had a remix for him, too. Did we not, Ollie? I think we had a remix for him. I don't know if we did.
Ooh, I hope so.
Sam was mentioning.
I hope we do.
Did we not?
I hope we do.
Ripping up the set.
Hopefully he's still there, Nate.
This Posse's on Broadway.
Hey, he's still on.
That's how we do it.
It's the semi-final The referee works with everything.
The S Word with Will Gavin and Master Tesfacion from talkSPORT. talkSPORT presents the S Word. High energy exchanges, fiery fan reactions, and the biggest football debate. The S Word from talkSPORT.
Number 10, Paraguay, cover his mouth. Decision is red card. Decision is red card. Cover his mouth. Decision is red card.
Oh, poor Miguel Mon. Do you know what's amazing, Master, is that will go down as World Cup history anyway, because he's the first ever player to get sent off for that new rule, for covering his mouth. But actually it goes down in history for the greatest referee announcement of all time.
Yeah, it does. It does. And that's the beauty of this World Cup, man. All the new rules, all the new infractions are bringing new memories and new moments.
They are.
We've literally never seen on the pitch before, including number 10 covering his mouth.
Please bring it to the Premier League. This is the S Word here on the talkSPORT YouTube channel and the S Word YouTube channel too, with me, Ollie Clink, alongside a very excited Master Tesfazian. We're going to chat more USMNT in just a moment.
Excited or delusional?
Well, I just want to point something out, because you've had a very good group stage so far, already through. Probably going to beat Turkey as well, because they've been absolutely dismal and can't seem to find the back of the net in a month of Sundays. But I just want to point out the record of one team at Euro 2008, Master, before you get carried away with the group stage, right? The Netherlands beat Italy, who were the world champions at that point, 3-0. They then beat France 4-1. They then beat Romania 2-0. They were the best team at the tournament. They were absolutely rocking. And then they lost to Russia in their first knockout game. I'm just saying.
What?
Just saying.
We're talking about Euros. They ain't got nothing to do with America, baby. This is different. This means more. You will laugh and cry when we're in the semifinals in Dallas, Texas, baby.
Oh, yeah, no, I'll definitely cry, mate. I'll tell you that for free. Now, let's carry on with our chat about the USMNT, who are cooking, aren't they, of course? And what a guest we have up next. Former USMNT and current Pogoń Szczecin midfielder Kellyn Acosta joins us. Kellyn, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Oh, brilliant, thank you. Masters on cloud 9, thinks they're going all the way. What did you make of the performance last night, though? I mean, they've followed up a brilliant opening game with another fantastic win.
Yeah, no, I think a great overall performance. The boys from start to finish and got the job done. Started off strong. Obviously, the second half could have shored up some things a little bit, but I think overall, proud of the effort, proud the performance, and top of Group D, which is huge.
Yeah, Kellyn, great talking to you. Yourself from Plano, Texas. I'm from Irving, Texas. So it's great to talk to someone from the Metroplex area about this beautiful game. And, trying to get people to understand how much the sport means in this country. And obviously yourself having a number of caps with the U.S. men's national team. Why does this one feel different? Because I promise you, going into this tournament, I did not feel optimistic. And these last two performances now have had me in a delusional state where I'm thinking I will see them at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, and I'll get to see them in my hometown in the semifinal.
Right. I think you just feel the energy of the World Cup in general. I think just overall, just seeing full stadiums, you seeing foreigners coming into the country, enjoying what the U.S. has to offer, and then obviously the performance on the field. I think collectively as a country, we want to see teams that win. And for us, I mean, we've started off games, done very, very well, playing dynamic football, scoring lots of goals, and putting out performances that people can be proud of and people can really follow along. And I think the guys have done a tremendous job, and hopefully can continue on that as we face Turkey in the last match.
I just want to talk to you about the midfield too, because obviously you've made your living as one of those in the engine room, if you want. But McKennie and Adams and Tillman, they are so effective, aren't they? And they almost suffocate the life out of the opposition.
Yeah, no, they've been doing a tremendous job, those three. Like you mentioned, the engine of the team, Tyler, Weston, Malik as well have done a tremendous job. I think the relationships they've been, they kind of just gel well together, mesh well. And I think, not only with the ball, but like you mentioned, off the ball is how they suffocate teams, not letting them have any breathing room. And, when you're winning the ball in great areas and then advancing the balls to the likes of Balogun and Christian, who was injured in playing, or Pepe, and these guys were able to create a number of chances. And it's been very beneficial for us leading into games.
I watched USA Paraguay with DeAndre Yeldon, and obviously another a great U.S. men's national team player as well.
Newcastle legend. Newcastle legend.
Give him some love. There's the tuning arm right there. But having the relationships that he has with the team, I'm curious for your vantage point as well. Have you been able to text these players? What kind of relationship do you have with them, and kind of what the sentiment that you're getting from them in terms of how they're feeling right now through this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of been leaving them alone during the tournament, but I was able to catch up with some of them while they were in Chicago, actually. So I was at the hotel, caught up with a bunch of the guys, and yeah, I think just before the tournament, the guys were excited, obviously optimistic. It was the day before the Germany match. And right now I've just kind of just been leaving them alone. I mean, it's a busy tournament, but I'm definitely watching afar, cheering them on, and like I said, they've done a tremendous job thus far.
I just want to talk about, and Master and I were chatting about this a bit earlier on, Kellyn, but almost the difference in the two performances, both positive, but you had the kind of fireworks and the goals against Paraguay. It was the perfect start, wasn't it? Especially for one of the co-hosts. And then you have this more controlled performance against Australia. And doesn't it show off that almost that tactical flexibility that you're going to get from Mauricio Pochettino as such a top coach?
Yeah, I mean, Poach has done a great job of bringing out the best in the group, and the game management, as you mentioned, has been a talking point of what they've done. Like you mentioned, the Paraguay game where it was goals galore to more of a tactical approach against a tough Australian team, and you were able to see the difference between the two matches. But you obviously seen a more comfortable and controlled performance from the guys, and when you're going into different games with different challenges, and you're going to have to adapt to what the game brings you. But I think from both matches, we've been on the front foot, scoring early, and then obviously having a balanced performance then after. So it's been great to see, and hopefully can continue as the games progress.
Kellyn, you played a huge role in the team that made it back to the World Cup in 2022, obviously after what happened in 2018, and also becoming the first Asian American, correct me if I'm wrong, to be on a U.S. World Cup roster. I'm curious from your vantage point, what has it meant for you to see this team, and what has it meant for you as an American to see what this tournament has done in terms of the sentiment? Because there's a level of patriotism I have right now as I'm wearing this kit right now that I don't know if I would have had a couple weeks ago, but I feel like this team and maybe the representation and the diversification of this team has really reminded me why I do love this country so much.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it right there. I think they've been putting out performances that everyone's proud of and everyone can follow behind. And it's definitely a proud moment for me, even looking from afar and seeing what they're doing and just seeing, everyone just rallying behind them. I think it's been a positive set of games, and you see the country really having this belief that we can go far in this tournament. And that's a testament to the guys with the work they put in. And you mentioned the diversity of the team. We have a team that's very diverse, and it's beautiful to see, because that's what the U.S. is all about. It's a melting pot of the world, and you're seeing people from all over come together and come as one and showcase and represent the badge on the front, also the last name on the back. So like I said, it's been a great set of games, and it's been a beautiful tournament so far.
Kellyn, Master thinks they're going to go all the way and lift this thing at the end of the tournament. We've just had Nate Bukaty, who said that he thinks they could get to the semi-finals. What are you saying? How far do the USMNT get?
I mean, like you mentioned before, I want them to win, go all the way, of course. But there's many games until that point, especially with 48 teams. So, but we take it game by game. Obviously, we accomplished the first goal, which is getting out of group, and looking ahead to the next match against Turkey, and then maybe Bosnia, I think, was who we could potentially be lining up. I mean, there's still some games to go, but take it game by game. I mean, I'm hoping that we can go quarters, semis, and hopefully finals. We'll see.
Well, we were saying a bit earlier, when you look at maybe a team like Brazil, for example, who don't seem as if they've hit top gear. We've seen only one game from Spain, but they were pretty disappointing in that draw with Cape Verde. I just feel at the moment that US team and the energy behind them and the performances they're putting in, they are the last team you would want to face, even if you are one of those top teams.
No, definitely, especially at this moment. A lot of confidence, a lot of momentum. But like I mentioned before, it's a long tournament. Even the likes, like you mentioned, the Spains and Brazil, maybe not performing at their so-called highest level, but take it game by game. Brazil had a big result, last night, beating Haiti, and I know Spain is looking to bounce back after having, a disappointing tie against Cape Verde. So it's a long tournament, so you can never count anybody out, and it's about peaking and building at the right time. I think for us, we've done a great job of starting out strong, especially as the host. It was important to win the first game and then follow that performance with the second game. And now it's looking into the third match. You got to just continue and keep building, keep growing as the tournament goes on.
I've been trying to explain to people overseas that haven't been in this country and enjoyed the sport in this country how each of these cities and states kind of have their own interpretation of the sport. And obviously, like I said, you're from Dallas, from the Metroplex area, but also you played in Chicago, you played in Colorado, you played for LAFC. What are your favorite cities to consume and breathe and inherit the sport, and what has been your favorite atmosphere that you've seen so far in the United States during this World Cup?
Yeah, I mean, I think every city has a different culture, different fan base, so you see some diversity in that aspect of it. I mean, the World Cup has brought in some crazy games. I mean, I have to really credit the opener, seeing Mexico, South Africa, and Azteca. I mean, we're just watching that from afar. I'm like, wow, this is what everything you would want in an opening match. And I'm hoping, in the following games in the U.S., even post World Cup, we can have games like this. I think SoFi was a great turnout, especially for the U.S. opener. Goals galore as well from a fan perspective. So I thoroughly enjoyed the game, and got to credit as well seeing Canada and Vancouver. Man, I'm crediting all like the host countries playing, but there's just the atmosphere that you don't typically see from MLS matches, and seeing how the world's kind of adopted that in these matches has been great to see, and hopefully will continue throughout the games in the World Cup and beyond.
But it has gotten better in MLS. I will admit, it, like LAFC, I go to a lot of those matches. Obviously, as much as I would love to support FC Dallas, as diehard as I would like, there's some work to be done there. But we have, you go to Seattle, you go to Portland. Like, there are some cities here where they do galvanize and do support in a very incredible way that, maybe this is a jumping point where this is the standard, as you mentioned.
No, I think definitely. I mean, you mentioned a few different cities and stadiums. I mean, yeah, they've done a tremendous job, and I think right now there's a pivotal time in football in the U.S. Having the World Cup in your backyard is a great time to galvanize different cities and rally upon different teams, like you mentioned. You mentioned my hometown, Dallas. Like, obviously, could be in fact a bit better compared to like the LAFCs and the Portlands and whatnot. But you did see what at Cowboy Stadium and or AT&T Stadium, excuse me, look like, right? And it's like, okay, the fandom is there. It just needs a helping hand, and having this World Cup I think will do a tremendous job for the future of the sport.
Kellyn, it's Turkey up last in the group stages for the US. You're already through, they're already out. And it's a good headache, really, for Pochettino to have, how much he rotates his team. Are you on the side of giving some players a bit of a rest and keeping them fresh? Or do you want to see this momentum carry on and US go out there with their strongest team and put in a brilliant performance once again?
Yeah, I mean, luckily I'm not a coach. It's a hard decision to make. I think you might be able to rest a few guys. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of turnover despite winning the group. I think you want to continue on the front foot, keep guys going, keep guys scoring, hopefully, and also, give opportunity for other guys, because it's a long tournament. There's going to be a lot of games. You're going to have to call upon different players, like you saw Pepe in this last match, coming into the match when Christian was injured. So, and you saw Haji getting his first minutes as well. So it's a tournament we're going to rely on a lot of guys. So I think this upcoming match is going to be an opportunity for guys to, get a sniff, and also guys to maybe get a little bit of rest. But I can only see probably rotating a few guys from the start.
Kellyn, what an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.
Real quick.
Go on. No, one last question. Go.
You mentioned you're not a coach, but I think it's very clear coming off this World Cup, the landscape's going to change here in the States, and as we probably both hope that it will continue to grow and take another step as it did after the 1994 World Cup. I'm curious. Have you thought about what that looks like for you? Like as these more opportunities present themselves, is that coaching for you? Like how? What kind of role beyond obviously playing and participating? And obviously we're so thankful and grateful for what you did with U.S. Men's National Team. But as you look at all these other opportunities that present themselves, where do you see what you can do to continue the momentum? 10, 20 years down the road, where this generation watching these players right now are going to be the ones leading the lines and being in a position that you've been in before playing in a World Cup.
Yeah, I think it's hard to say. I mean, I think for me, it's just continuing being a voice and an advocate of the sport and help the sport grow. And hopefully, 10, 20 years from now, you really see, the USA being a force and MLS being a force in the world of football. And I think for me personally, what I would like to accomplish is maybe, being on TV, being an analyst of a sort, or even just tied to a team. I've always had aspirations of maybe being a general manager, technical director, or even having ownership in teams to be involved in the sports and also help grassroots. I don't know if coaching is in my future. I don't know if I have enough patience for it, but never know. Maybe, 5, 10 years down the line, maybe that's something that I'll explore. But in the time being, I think I would prefer maybe a front office job or maybe just talking behind the screen. So we'll see.
Well, we very much enjoyed you talking and all your analysis. Man. It's been a pleasure. Kellyn, thank you very much indeed.
Another Dallas, Texas native. Always welcome on the show. Come on now. That's Dallas, baby, for you.
Brilliant stuff.
Amazing. Thank you guys for having me.
Kellyn Acosta there, former USMNT star, of course, and in charge of that engine room, of course. By the way, the amount of ex-Newcastle players being mentioned on this show, I've loved it. I've absolutely loved it. We've obviously been talking about Miggy Almiron. You mentioned that you worked with DeAndre Yedlin. How the hell did you not mention that to me? Absolutely love that man. I'm going to give you a quiz as we go to the break. There's been one other.
You love you some quiz. You love you a good quiz.
One other United States player has played for Newcastle United. Who is it? Alongside DeAndre Yedlin. Have a think about it. We're going to go to the break. We'll be back in a second here on the S Word.
Bringing all the biggest football debates stateside. The S Word from talkSPORT. talkSPORT presents The S Word. Listen again and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on the talkSPORT USA YouTube channel.
Cover his mouth! Number 10, far away, cover his mouth! Cover his mouth! Number 10, far away, cover his mouth! Decision is a red card!
Oh, I love it so much.
Red card! Red card!
I think it's my favourite moment of the whole World Cup. I don't think he'll get beaten either. Unless I want to see that man give out every single red card. Seriously.
We had two good officiating moments. That one and the German ref cramping up was that was a lot of fun in the stadium.
Yeah, have you ever seen the ref cramp up before? I don't think I've ever seen that.
All I saw was he was hobbling a little bit. I'm like, uh-oh, and he went down. All they did was add more stoppage time, you know? He should have taken advantage of the hydration break, Ollie. That's why we have hydration breaks.
That might be why he cramped up.
He thought he was too good. He thought he was too good to not take a hydration break. And
there we go, yeah.
Came back to bite him.
Got to get a bit of energy drink on then. This is the S Word here on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. I set you a quiz, Master Test Faction, before the break. Now, I want to point out there's been two American Newcastle United players in the Premier League era. There was another fella back in the 70s called Andy Parkinson, right? And I didn't think you'd get him. So it's in the Premier League era. If you got Andy Parkinson, by the way, well done, because that is a very niche shout. Do you know who it is? If not, I will give you some clues.
I think it might be a player in which I kind of emulated as a kid.
Go on.
Bukaty and
Oh, this man.
Come on.
Well, they played 11 times for us. How on earth have you remembered that?
That era Gooch was my guy. I played center back. It was like a sweeper era, we were playing calcio and stuff as a kid. And his physicality, the way he played, the tenacity. My coach would always tell me, watch him and play like him. So, and now he's some sort of technical director right now for the U.S. Soccer.
He is.
Doing what Kellyn's trying to do right now. Maybe be our next sporting director. Who knows? But that's someone that I've always he was a menace. He was fearless. So
and he's clearly doing his job well, isn't he? With the way that the USMNT have started this tournament. There's plenty of games tonight, though, Master, that I'm really looking forward to. We'll start with the Netherlands, who are taking on Sweden. Now, in their first game, Netherlands with I thought one of the games of the tournament against Japan, 2-2 draw in the end, and Sweden turned up under Graham Potter, 5-1 win over, let's be honest, a rubbish Tunisia side. So I'm looking forward to seeing Sweden get tested properly, but also this is a big game now for the Netherlands, given that they drew the first.
Yeah, it is, and I'm curious to see what this back line for the Netherlands looks like, because each time they had the lead with the talent that they have in that back line, you would assume defensively that they would be one of the better defensive teams, if not probably the best defensive team in this tournament.
Can I just come back on that quickly? Is that about the Netherlands, is it? And you're talking about Van Dijk at the back, and you're talking about Van der Ven at the back.
Yes, Van Heck.
And Timber's injured. I'm sorry.
But you got, Timber wouldn't start it. Timber was going to start anyways. Dumfries usually starts there anyway. So the depth that they have as well. Van Heck, Mickey Van de Ven, as you mentioned.
Yeah, but
with Virgil van Dijk.
Van de Ven has just come 17th in Premier League. He's only just stayed up.
Yeah,
right?
But that's
Virgil van Dijk has looked past it throughout this Premier League season. I think on paper it looks good. I think in reality, the form heading into the tournament means that I wasn't surprised. I mean, look at the goal for Japan, the second goal. Van Dijk's nowhere near it.
That's and again, a set piece header that Japan was able to score when they made us look ridiculous because we kept asking, why are they crossing it in? Why are they crossing it in? And they score there. But that's what I need to see, because I was very disappointed from that performance, and I expect more from that back line. And now you're facing a Sweden side where it seems like we've been always wondering if Gyökeres and Isak can get on the same page and play together. Your boy Alexander Isak, the guy that he played. I think did he play for Newcastle? That's right. He helped them win a trophy, didn't he?
Don't know.
Did he? Did he not?
I don't remember him, mate. To be honest,
did he not?
I remember Gucci Onyewu, mate. I don't remember Alexander. No, I mean, to be fair, I think we had this chat, didn't we, before the tournament started about Alexander Isak and the sense that he needed to turn up at this World Cup. Miserable season with Liverpool. Obviously, he got injured, but even before that, he wasn't the Isak we're used to seeing. And for me, it's not a shop window for him. That's not fair. Of course, he's staying at Liverpool, but I think it is a chance for him to prove once again why he is one of the top strikers in the world. And that Tunisia game was perfect for him. And I tell you what, it only takes a couple of moments or goals or assists for Alexander Isak to get that confidence back. And I tell you what, I've already mentioned it. I don't rate that Netherlands defence as highly as other people do. And I tell you who he has had on toast in the past.
Yes.
And that is Virgil van Dijk. So I reckon he'd be quaking in his boots about facing that front two of Gyökeres, who also looked very sharp, and Alexander Isak.
He did. They looked wonderful, and they took advantage of this Tunisian side that kind of was a wild card. I wasn't sure what to expect from them. They had a very fortunate draw in World Cup qualifiers and won their group very easily, and it was very obvious in that Sweden match. Could they be the sleeper team, or could they be an absolute just a terrible squad? And I think we saw the latter side is what we're going to expect from this Tunisian side. So for Japan as well in that group, a good chance for them to get 3 points there after their draw and their tremendous comeback performance against the Netherlands, rack up some goal differentials and all but assure themselves a spot in this group of 32. But that is going to be a very interesting group to see how those top three spots unfold.
Yeah, that's in Group F, of course. In Group E, Germany back in action after they thumped Curacao 7-1. I tell you what, that was another moment of the tournament for me. I maybe celebrated that Curacao goal as much as Harry Kane's opener against Croatia.
I was so happy for them. I was so happy for them. I was thrilled for them, even though obviously it led to a slacking afterwards. But for them to have that moment, to be level with the 4-time World Cup winners as the smallest nation to ever make it to the World Cup. That's honestly, that's all they needed.
Mate, I tell you what, they were on top until the hydration break as well. I'm saying it now. I'm saying it now. But genuinely, with Germany, and they're playing the Ivory Coast later, I thought, as much as it was Curacao, we've already talked about the fact they scored in that game, and I'm worried about their centre-backs, Master, the Germans. I just think there were moments where Curaçao were easily in behind the full-backs and the centre-backs. They looked shaky. And this Ivory Coast side has a lot of attacking talent. Maybe they too, struggle at the back, and I do expect Germany to score goals. When you've already scored 7, no matter who the opposition is, you're going to have that confidence flowing, and I actually thought they played some really nice football to score those goals. But I think the Ivory Coast can hurt them. Yan Diomande so far has been that player that we talked about pre-tournament, and I really wanted to do well, and I really wanted to see how special he was. And he delivered, I think, in that first game. And I want to see him running at this Germany side, because I think he could cause some serious damage.
I think he can too. And I would also expect Amad Diallo to start in this match. I was a bit surprised they didn't start in that first match, but so much attacking talent. As you mentioned, Yan Diomande taking 1v1 and making Piero Nkapie look silly time and time again with all the chances he was able to create on the left side for Ivory Coast. And then you add in Bazuma Torre as well as a 20-year-old at Hoffenheim, who's a tremendous young talent that I promise you a year from now, he'll be someone else that'll be going for top dollars as well, or top euros as well in the summer transfer window. But Amad Diallo is the leader of this team. And to see him on the bench in that first match was a bit surprising. He came off the bench and scored the game winner for Côte d'Ivoire. I expect him to start, and I agree with you. Is Todd Schlotterbeck going to start at center back once again? Do they bring in Rudiger for Germany and try to shore up some things and provide some physicality against a tough Côte d'Ivoire side? I've got Ivory Coast winning this one. I really do, and I think they can win this group.
Wow, Ivory Coast to beat Germany. I mean, yeah, I can see it. I can see it because, like I say, I can see them causing quite a few issues. What have you made actually overall of most of the African sides at this tournament? Okay, sometimes the results haven't quite gone their way. The main example I'm thinking of there is Senegal, who I thought had a very good first half against France and caused them all sorts of problems. And if they'd finished a few chances, that game could have been very different. And had Mbappe not been Mbappe, could have been very different. But overall, all right, there's been a few in there that haven't quite performed, but the African side so far have been really impressive.
I think they have, and I think it's led by the Cape Verdean performance, and obviously the DR Congo as well, going toe to toe with European giants and getting a point out of a situation which no one expected them or predicted them to get anything out of. And you add onto the sides with the teams that we expected to do well in this tournament in Africa, with obviously Ivory Coast being among them, Morocco obviously getting 3 points yesterday against Scotland with a chance to win their group. Senegal, I expect them to bounce back. I expect them to beat Norway and win their last 2 matches as well and get through in the group of 32. I wouldn't be shocked. I mean, we could be looking at, six African nations potentially making it to the knockout stage, which would be a tremendous feat. So, don't sleep on Africa. I know a lot of people are making a big stink out of 10 African nations being in this tournament, but the expanded tournament has allowed people to see how much the sport has grown in this continent, and I'm soaking up every single second of it.
Yeah, just very quickly, the other 2 games on the way. It's 1 a.m. kickoff our time and 5 a.m. kickoff our time in both Group E and Group F. You've got Ecuador in action against Curaçao. Looking forward to seeing Ecuador again, and then Japan. You'd expect it to get past Tunisia, given just how poor they were against Sweden.
I think both of those matches, that they should be absolute batterings. I got Japan win that one pretty convincingly, and I think Ecuador as well. I think both of these teams should rally up and tally up the goal differentials and position themselves in a great spot for the final group match.
Right, Master, I'm going to give you 15-20 seconds to give a big rallying cry then to your US men's national team, who you didn't believe in before the tournament started, and now you think are going all the way. Come on, give it to me. Go.
Ollie, there's only one rallying cry that needs, baby. I believe that we will win. 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 That's all we got to say, baby. That's it.
That's it from us today as well on the S Word. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a lot of fun, Master. It's been a pleasure, and we've got there. I'm thankful, though, that chant has stopped. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with plenty more where this can.
I believe that we will win. 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 I believe that we will win.
Number 10, Paraguay, cover his mouth. Decision is red card.
The daily deep dive into the world of football. The S Word from talkSPORT.